Okay. All right. I'm already getting hot. Bear with me. Hot flashes, hot flash alert. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And I'm really, really happy about the response that we have gotten about this ambassador program, because I wanted to make sure that we had more interested than as many interested as possible, so that we'd have a large pool to choose from, essentially, where we could be choosy and picky about really getting people on board that are passionate about the spina bifida community and that have different skills to bring to the table. We're always stronger together, and it takes a village. And I want to show you what we are building here. If I bring this up here, can you guys see it okay? I'm going to unmute you guys, or just have you guys unmute yourself. Can everybody see this okay?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so you guys, this is the location aerial view of the new MySBC family camp in Lawrence, Kansas. This 27-acre property has a lake in its backyard, as you can see up here at the top. That is a public lake. It's 183 acres. They've got canoeing and paddleboarding and swim beaches, and you can put boats on there. All the fun things that a public park has to offer. But the 27 acres is private property where we're going to be hosting all of our events for the spina bifida community. And what I'm happy to tell you is that even though we haven't even opened our doors for business, we have already started a pre-sale launch of the national play date for October of next year. And we are building 50 tents. If you look closely here, you can see we've got all these little tents that we're going to put on the 27 acres. We only have 50 of them because each tent is about $5,000. These are not your Boy Scout, Girl Scout tents, you guys. These are luxury canvas tents that have, fully furnished. But the nice thing about the event, we've already started selling it. If you look here, we have sold 26 of the 50 tents that are available already a year in advance. Excuse me, I said that wrong, not 26, 24. We've sold 24. We only have 26 tents left to sell for next year. And that is mind-blowing to me because the event is a year away. It's mind-blowing, but it doesn't surprise me as a former director of a nonprofit that hosted events like this on a much smaller scale. So that is why I decided there's many reasons why I decided to turn this into a full-blown business model, but to still serve our community by not only hosting these national playdate events for our community to get to know each other and spend the whole weekend together and just have a lot of fun. But I also wanted to be able to help the nonprofits do their fundraising, to host their own annual galas on this property. And so what's great about it, if you notice in the picture, the way we're going to do the layout of these glamping events, glamping tents, because they're all going to have their own little wooden floors. They're all going to be wheelchair accessible. But this group up here behind the two homes that are on the property is all for adults that have spina bifida. These are independent adults that want to come out and stay in their own tents. And then the other area down below in front of the homes on the property are for the young families that have kids with spina bifida. And so even though you're somewhat separated, you're still all together with the home in the middle. Now, the home in the middle is actually two houses, you guys. It's 100% wheelchair accessible, and it's got 8 bathrooms. And so we're going to have our breakfasts up there in the morning if the weather does not allow us to have them outdoors. We're going to serve our meals there, and we're going to use the bathroom facilities there, but we're also going to have additional bathroom facilities out on the land, because we have you've probably seen them at concert venues, like an RV that has 6 wheelchair accessible stalls. Some of them come with showers. Ours will not have a shower. So you're going to have more than enough bathroom facilities. And what's really cool, though, is with the ambassador program and what we're trying to do before we even open our doors, and what apparently we're already doing without even getting organized yet with the team, is getting the word out, the buzz on what is the National Playdate event, what is the MySBC Family Camp, and why do you want to be a part of this? Well, I know for me, as a mom and a wife and a parent of I was going to say child with spina bifida. She's 18 now, so a parent of an adult with spina bifida. I want to get together, every year, because I want to meet other parents like me that are on the same journey. And I absolutely want my daughter out there socializing and making new friends. I mean, even though she's got the Billy Winarowskis of the world, which are, Billy, do I go there?
Watch it.
Do I go there, Billy? For those of you that don't know Billy Winarowski already, he's like out there on social media with 5,000 friends. I don't think you can, is that the max you can do on Facebook? 5,000 friends, Billy?
Yeah, the max is 5,000. I don't think I have 5,000 yet, though.
Okay, well, you're getting there. And I bet 4,900 of them are all within the spina bifida community. So if you haven't already friended him, you should. And I want my daughter and my family to get out there at the family camp in Lawrence and meet people like Billy, meet families like Alicia Dawn, meet all of you guys that are here that are advocating for the community. And so I thought, let's get 24 ambassadors on board to help us sell out these events in advance. And then if the budget permits, we're going to keep moving forward and host more events and get your input on what type of themed events you want. And these surveys that are going out, are going to be really helpful for your voice to be heard. So for example, the first survey that we've already done, it's asking ambassadors, if you're on this team of 24, are you most interested in being an event recruiter, which is someone who recruits attendees to the National Playdate or any of the events that we host out in Lawrence? Do you want to be a glamper? A glamper is a role that is for somebody that actually lives in this area locally and would be working on site at the venue. Perhaps you rather fill a role as a nonprofit liaison. Now that one shows that you would be kind of like the go-between person on helping us rally in a local spina bifida Texas nonprofit and say, hey, come host your annual gala here in Lawrence, and we will help you put it together and have a good time. Or maybe you were more interested in mentorship. Maybe you really feel like you have a lot to bring to the table with being paired up or teamed up with, a younger child on their journey with spina bifida. And I'm talking about children from like ages 5 up to 18, 20, 22, kind of like Big Brothers, Big Sisters program, if you will. Another role to choose from is a merchandiser. We're going to have our own online virtual store. Of course, we got to have merch for the MySBC Family Camp. Music maker, if you're a musician, an artist, or you just like to help line up musicians and performers to come to our events, then maybe that would be your role. We also are going to do like a pen pal program, which again, most of these roles are all virtual with the exception of the glamper role that's on site in Lawrence. If you're going to be in the pen pal program, you will help outline that program and I mean, you're basically going to build that program from the ground up, and it's also going to include something really fun, which is our trading card program. Think baseball cards, but spina bifida educational cards. And if I had one with me right now, I would show you, but many of you on here already know what those are. And they're for adults as well as children. And then another, I think the last role here that I didn't go over, and we've already had 2 people that have done the surveys, said that they're interested in the pet patrol. The pet patrol is somebody who's an animal lover and wants to be in charge of granting permission for families and people that are attending the events, getting to bring their support dog or cat or animal, whatever it may be, to the event. So things like that. And I don't know if my moderator put any questions in the group chat yet, but I was going to basically see if you had any questions about some of these roles and take it from there. Let's see. Billy Winarowski, you are no longer allowed to comment in the group chat. And I'm going to keep your mute. I'm going to
So does
keep
that mean
your
I just have to
microphone.
come off mute and say it then?
I'm going to keep your microphone muted. So is anyone other than Billy Winarowski have any specific questions about these roles? Susie, I think we got your survey. I just
One
saw
of the
something pop
things
up.
that I did have a question about is I didn't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
My name is Alicia, for those of you who don't know me. You might know me from Tiki Talkie. I'm Abigail's mom. And my question is kind of in the of this
Oh.
is, you
You're
know,
kind of
signal.
kind of
out.
support networks for going through this journey. We've had a lot of parents be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're cutting
cutting
out
in
on
and
us,
out.
unfortunately. Try again.
Oh no. Okay. Let me try taking out my AirPods. All right, is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So my question is kind of more, what kind of support networks can we help build for parents who are just maybe starting this journey, because that's something that is lacking substantially within the spina bifida world, is that kind of network of supports, because we're told XYZ about the babies we're carrying, and the reality is that's not always the case. Where's the other one going?
Right.
So that would be my question.
Yeah. So like, are you talking about like from the very beginning, like from diagnosis day?
Just a second, I can't hear you. What is going on? Okay, try that now.
Are you talking about like support from the very beginning after they receive the diagnosis?
Yeah, all sorts of sports, because there's some places on on other social media platforms. However, they're not always the best, and not everyone finds that it's kind of the best fit or most encouraging.
Right.
I think there needs to be another space where someone could be like, you know what, I talked to so-and-so from this community or from this network or nonprofit. Like, they have a lot of valuable resources and individuals that, are willing to talk with you one-on-one and kind of just sit with them and be present through all of that.
Absolutely. And I think Billy and I can definitely answer that question. And because we have a group that we started 3 years ago.
Can I speak on that, Ginger?
Absolutely. And I'm going to remove a troll. If you're iPhone 3, I need you to type in your name, iPhone 3, or I have to remove you from the group. This is a private Zoom. So I need to know who you are, or I will delete you from the group. iPhone 3. Okay, go ahead, Billy.
iPhone 3 is Cody Middleton. She just put it in the chat.
Thank you. Thank you, Cody. We will keep you on here.
I just wanted you to see that in case you didn't see it before you tried to remove her.
Yeah, go ahead,
But,
Billy. Answer Alicia.
But Alicia, as an adult with spina bifida and as a 51-year-old with spina bifida, I don't want to get political, but at the same time, one of the biggest statistics that I've seen in my lifetime with spina bifida is the termination rate when parents get the diagnosis that their child will have spina bifida. And so, as Ginger said, about what is it, 2 or 3 years now, Ginger?
3.
I had reached out 3 years ago. I had reached out to Ginger with tears in my eyes, kind of like I'm doing right now, saying how, as an adult with spina bifida, that was the hardest statistic for me to read and for me to see. So I said, especially when there's so many different things as far as treatment, especially fetal surgery, and I understand that so many may not qualify for fetal surgery for whatever the reason is, but there's so many more different treatments for spina bifida that weren't even available in 1972 when I was born. Heck, in 1972 when I was born, even that dreaded word termination that I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago wasn't even an option for my mother. And so with that abortion rate being so high, and very respectfully, me defying the odds as much as I have, because the doctors told my parents I wouldn't live past my first birthday, I'd never walk, and if A and B were proven false, I'd be a vegetable. I said to Ginger that I wanted to start a group as an adult with spina bifida, especially because a lot of the quote unquote parent groups were kicking me out because I was an adult with spina bifida, which I can understand. I'm not holding any grudges against those parent groups or whatever, but at the same time, because I really felt that I wanted to make a difference with these parents that are just getting the diagnosis, I wanted to take as much time as I possibly could and let these parents know that although it's a hard journey, it's definitely not an easy journey, that it is a doable journey, especially when you lock arms with people like myself, like Ginger O'Dwyer, like the Dinkle family. If you haven't met the Dinkle family, you have to meet them, and so many other people that are in this community and that are a part of this community. I mean, heck, one thing that people from my generation and Ginger's generation and Ginger's husband Jerry's generation, hey Jerry, hey Emily, but one thing that we all know, and many of us probably didn't know until 15-20 years ago when the internet kind of went booming, was 70s and 80s rock star from Indiana by the name of John Mellencamp, or John Cougar Mellencamp, actually was born with spina bifida. And he is, if my mom is in her late 70s, John Cougar Mellencamp has to be at least in his late 60s, if not early 70s.
I hope you
So-
shared that
so-
on your page, Billy. That's a great fun fact for Spina Bifida Awareness Month. And
I have in the past. I've actually shared. There's an article from CBS, and I'll try and find it and share it on my wall after this
Okay.
after this live.
I
But
don't want
there's
to cut you off,
there's an
but I
article
actually
from.
I don't want to cut you off, but I actually am going to cut you off just for the interest of time. So I apologize for
Okay.
interrupting you, but to kind of circle
No
back
worries.
to Alicia Dawn's question, Alicia, Billy and I started a support group for the young families just starting on their spina bifida journey. But I think between the 280 parents that him and I have in that group, along with the things that I already see you doing so well on your TikTok page, I think if we combine those, we could make something very special there, because the mentorship role within the ambassador program, again, that was part of these 10 different roles on the survey. The mentorship role, which is kind of like the big brothers and big sisters, is really geared towards the Billy Winarowskis. We want Billy out there pairing up with a young child like a Roman Dinkle to support them. But we want the Alicia Dawns of the world to be out there supporting the next new group of parents, right? So perhaps with some of your own insight and ideas, you can help us brainstorm and create what you think is missing out there. And I will say one more thing before we move on and let you finish, Alicia. Maternal fetal medicine, those are the doctors that more often than not, those MFM specialists that we get referred to for our 3D ultrasounds when our general MD says, wait, something's wrong here, go have an ultrasound. Unfortunately, very often, those are the physicians that give us the doom and gloom diagnosis that you are referring to. And it's quite sad that we're in 2023 and they're still giving us outdated information. So one of the things that I really see you can help do, I can help do, we all can do, is establish something where we attend the maternal fetal medicine conferences that they have annually with thousands of physicians worldwide. It's not even just America. To speak and share our voice and say, hey, I'm Alicia Dawn. I want to let you know that my daughter, Abby Rose, is not doom and gloom. Make sense? You have your hands full there. She is running you ragged. You're on mute. Did I answer your question pretty much? Did Billy help? Okay, you get back to Abby. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight was that between now and the end of the month, since it is Spina Bifida Awareness Month, we're gonna more than likely start hosting these Zooms every Tuesday around this time. So if you guys are able to carve out a time, this will be once we have all 24 roles established. And right now, unfortunately, I'm getting ready to go out of town, and a couple of the administrative people that have been helping me with this are not going to be available because of some of the things they're doing tomorrow. With that being said, we do still plan to meet up on Zoom next Tuesday, same time, same place, and to finally get a commitment from 24 of you guys for the ambassador team. Nobody has to decide what role they want on the ambassador team yet. That's weeks and weeks away. We just want to get a commitment from 24 people that are willing to donate an hour of their time every Tuesday for I don't know how long. It could be 6 months, it could be 7 months, but we're going to build this thing from the ground up. I mean, not to sound cliche, but if you haven't watched Field of Dreams, you know how Kevin Costner says, if you build it, they will come. And we're building it, and it's going to be in Lawrence, Kansas, and it's going to be amazing. The thing about being a part of the ambassador team, guys, is that those 24 of you that are committed to being on the ambassador team, you guys are actually going to be the first people to stay at the Lawrence property, and the first people that are going to get to stay in these gorgeous, gorgeous tents with 2 queen beds, a wood burning stove, And we're going to do like a dry run through with those 24 ambassadors. You guys are going to get to bring a guest with you. It's just going to be a lot of fun because we'll really get to establish some relationships as we go. Amy and Austin Fitzgerald, I see that you guys have joined us. And do you have any questions? I think you guys are the only two maybe that were not on the Zoom last week. If you have any questions, you are welcome to unmute your microphone or just put them in the chat.
I can't think of any right now. So.
Okay, thank you, Austin.
Mhm.
I am seeing Mitra has some questions in the chat. Cody is on board. Wonderful, Cody. Thank you. Anybody want to move to Lawrence, Kansas? Everybody wants remote. Got it. Okay. Mitra,
Ginger.
You know me, I will move to Lawrence, Kansas in a second.
that's a given, right, Billy? I think you'd move to Olathe. What were you going to say,
Don't tempt
Mitra?
me.
Go ahead.
Everybody in the chat is saying Tuesday's going to be hard because of Halloween.
Oh, you guys, thank you. Okay, we're cutting Tuesday. Thank you. We will not do Halloween. Let's skip next week. It's a crazy week anyway. Let's do, that would be the 7th. Is that right? Looking at my calendar here. Yeah, let's do Tuesday,
Yes.
November 7th.
Yeah, that would
Okay.
be the,
And again, I'll send out reminders like I have been. Alicia, were you able to finally get that survey from Billy?
Yes,
Billy,
I was able to get that filled out and I actually already sent that in to you. So you should have it in your email currently. I think, if that's how it works.
Awesome. And Susie, I got yours. Thank you. Okay,
That sounds
Mitra, did
I
you
figured
have
we
any
could pick
questions?
whatever better.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susie. Go ahead one more time.
That's okay. Sorry. I just said I clicked a bunch that looked interesting and I figured we could figure out the best match.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're you're in Missouri, aren't you, Susie?
No, I'm in Lenexa.
Oh,
So I'm
you're in
pretty close
Kansas.
to
Yeah,
Lawrence.
yes. You got only a 40-minute drive.
Yeah, and if anything, my husband's niece, he has an adult niece that lives in Lawrence. So in case of emergency, we could probably hit her up.
Awesome. Awesome. And Casey, I would like to see that cutie pie if she wants to say hi. You want to introduce her to the group?
This is Neela. Say hi, Mama. She's tired.
Is she? She's a
Say hi, Mama.
beauty. Oh, look at the
you.
curls in her hair. Remind me what her name is, Casey.
Neela.
Neela.
Yes.
How old is she now?
She'll be 6 months this week.
And she has myelomeningocele, right?
Lipo. Yep.
Oh, it's lipo. Okay.
Yeah.
So, for those of you, it's great when we meet others that have something other than myelomeningocele, which is the most common type of spina bifida. But lipomyelomeningocele is less common, and we just, we don't hear about it much. So as she grows, you can educate us on, on that type. So her back would have been closed? The opening in her back was closed? Yes, okay. It's my understanding the lipo is a closed neural tube defect, whereas the majority of the others are open neural tube defects. Mitra, did you have anything else that you wanted to add before we go?
I don't think so at this time, but I can email if I think of it.
Okay, and are you and I still meeting after the Zoom?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, guys, so I will send you out an email next week, but it will not be a Zoom link. It'll just be, no, I will send you out an email with a Zoom link, but it will not be for next week. It'll be for November 7th. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, bye, Abby. I see Abby. I see Neela. Oh, she's showing us her. Oh.
Hey, Ginger, I have a question.
Yes.
So on the tickets for the play date, what is the difference between the one that's 500, the all-inclusive, and the other one, the $100 one?
Okay, that is a great question. And in fact, you just reminded me of something else I want to tell you guys before you leave. Casey, there essentially is no difference. All of the tickets are all inclusive, okay? The flat fee, $500, is if you have less than 4 people in your tent. So if you're a family of 3, instead of it being $100 per person, you're gonna have to buy 1 tent and pay $500 instead of the per person fee. Does that make sense? So you're going to get a room with 2 queen beds and a twin if you're a big family. If you're a family less than 4, then you're going to get a same size tent, but it's not going to have the twin bed in it. And since there would be less than 4 people staying in the room, we have to charge a flat fee in order to make any money. So were you the family that had 7? Somebody booked a tent that had 7. Was that your family, Casey?
I was going to do 7. My only thing with that is with because we're 8 hours from there.
Okay.
So I was gonna do 7, but I might have to go down to 3 because I don't know if my husband will be able to make it.
Okay. Well, let me tell you something. You know, there's one of the things that we're going to talk about on our November 7th meeting, because by then we will have our core 24. And that's all we're going to talk about is what the ambassadors are going to build together out in Lawrence, and starting with you guys coming out in April and experiencing it. We're going to be giving the ambassadors a discount on their own family tents. So for example, Casey, if you end up being one of the 24 ambassadors, I would just say, hold off on booking yours, because you're probably going to get a discount for your family. And so maybe you'll want to do 7 people, but the tents only hold up to 6. So you're still going to need a second tent, if that makes sense. So you would basically book 1 tent for $600 because you've got 6 people. Well, no, let me take that back. If you had 7 people, you probably put 4 in one room and 3 in the other, right? So your first tent's going to be $400 because it's $100 per person. And the second tent, we have to charge a minimum of the $500 flat rate since you have less than 4 people. I am not saying this very clear. This sounds so confusing as it's coming out of my mouth. Long story short, don't book yours yet, Casey. If you're going to be an ambassador, you're going to get a discount, okay? We'll get you figured out. But that reminds me, when you are booking yourself or helping someone book a ticket on the event site, at the very bottom where they buy their tickets, there is a blank space, and it says, which ambassador referred you. And so anytime you guys are out there causing that buzz on social media saying, hey, get your tickets, come to our events, anytime they put your name in there as the ambassador that referred them to that event, then you as an ambassador are not only going to get mad props for recruiting all these people to the event, but you're going to get entered into a prize pool for different prizes, and it's going to help you establish different discounts and things like that. So I forgot to mention that earlier. If there's anything else in the group chat before we go.
I had one quick question.
Yeah.
When will we know if we're one of the 24?
Well, it was going to be next Tuesday, not beknownst to me that it was Halloween. So the answer to your question is you'll know by November 7th on that following Zoom. Yeah. To clarify, only the 24 people will be on that November 7th Zoom. So you'll be getting an email next week stating, we found our 24. Thank you. Meet us November 7th, or we found our 24. We couldn't squeeze you in. Thank you, but we hope to still see you at our events. Does that make sense, people? Cool, cool. Great questions, you guys. Great questions. And bear with me. This is a work in progress. I may not have an answer for you. We'll figure it out together. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your night. I appreciate you mamas that are busy with these kids hopping on despite you having to chase them or feed them. This is what women are good at, this multitasking. No digs on the men that are here. You guys you're okay multitaskers.
Hey, watch out. We can
Please protect
do this.
your
We,
ankles.
we could do stuff.
Yes, we can, Jerry.
That's right, Billy. You tell her.
Come on now.
I'm sure
Hi,
Austin and
Emily.
Cody would agree too. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.